Okay, so let's get started. We're going to have this class. It's going to help to build posture again. We're going to do the entire class on the floor though. So what I have for props or pieces of equipment is I have a yoga strap. I also have a yoga block. And then I have this big cushion too, because when we're seated, we want to make sure that our pelvis is square to the floor. And sometimes that means having a cushion underneath us is going to help us to get that pelvis square to the floor. So what I'd like you to do is just make sure you have everything available. And then we're going to start by laying down on our backs, and we'll begin class with some diaphragmatic breathing. So once you have everything all set up, what I'd like you to do is just come on down to the floor. And go ahead, bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, and then bring your hands to your belly. What I'd like you to do is just try to guide the breath into your belly. Let your belly inflate as much as you possibly can. And then when you exhale, just let the breath go and feel free to sigh, like so. Good, and we'll do this a few times. And what we want to do is actually get more intentional about filling the belly up with as much air as possible. And then when you're exhaling, just let the breath go. And if a sigh comes out, then great. And if a sigh doesn't come out, that's okay too. Let's do 2 more times. Breathing into the belly. And then just let it go. And 1 more time. Big breath into the belly. And then exhale, just let it go. Great. So then what I'd like you to do is bring your hands to your lower ribs. Right, we're going to exhale now with a long exhale. And as we're exhaling, what I'd like you to do is coach these lower ribs to collapse in so that you're activating your oblique muscles and your intercostal muscles. Okay. So again, we're going to breathe into the belly first. So big breath into your belly. Then hands on your lower ribs, exhale. Coach these lower ribs to collapse in as you exhale out a nice long sustained breath. We'll do that 2 more times. So let's breathe into the belly again. Then hands on the lower ribs, exhale. Coach those lower ribs to collapse in towards your spine as you're breathing out. Good, 1 more time. Big breath into the belly. And then exhale, coaching those lower ribs to collapse in. Great. So then let's add on another technique. So we're going to still coach these lower ribs in as we're exhaling. We're still going to inhale and inflate your belly as big as possible. On the exhale, what I'd like you to do is try to make the longest S sound possible. So that's going to activate your transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor. Okay? So again, it's the longest S sound possible. So first, begin by breathing into the belly as big as possible. And now the longest S sound, as we're squeezing all of the air out, making this exhale as long as possible. Good, we'll do that 2 more times. So again, breathe into the belly first. And the nice long S sound. Still coach those lower ribs to collapse in towards your spine as you're making that S sound. Good, 1 more time. Let's see if we can make it even longer. So big breath into your belly. And then S sound out. Really try to make it as long as possible. Excellent. Beautiful. So hopefully you feel a little bit more relaxed and that we've also activated our inner core, which was part of what our intention was with that little sequence. So now we're going to try to activate the outer core, and we're going to do that by curling our spine. So what I'd like you to do is tuck your chin in towards your Adam's apple, then peel up your head and try to look into your heart. Then try to pull your heart as close as you can towards your belt buckle. So we're curling our spine as much as we possibly can. Good. Then with your arms, you can either reach up toward the ceiling or you can reach forward. It's up to you where you want to reach. Okay. If your arms are reaching up, you're just going to load your abdominals a little bit more. Good. And then we're just going to do the same breathing exercises. Okay. So we're going to try to breathe into the belly and then a nice long S sound out. Okay, so here we go. Big breath into the belly, and nice long S sound out. Good. Now, as we're doing this, let's also try to curl the spine a little bit more. So 2 more breaths. So big breath into your belly. And then S sound out. Try to curl your spine a little bit more. So try to bring your heart a little closer toward your belly button. Good. One more time. Big breath in. And nice long S sound out. Beautiful. And come on down to the floor. Excellent. Good. So then we're going to do a complementary exercise. We're going to do a floor bridge. So I'd like you to tuck your heels up towards your heels up towards your hips as close as you possibly can. Then with your hands, try to reach for your toes. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then find your belt buckle and point your belt buckle up towards your chin. Good. Then just try to lift your hips up as high as you can. When your hips are up in the air, I want you to make sure your belt buckle points towards your chin. Good. Now in this position, I want you to focus on pressing down with your hands and your heels. And then we'll just start our breathing exercises all over again. So breathing into the belly, and then a nice long S sound out. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. And as we exhale out, let's see if we can lift the hips up a little higher. So big breath in, nice long S sound out. Good. One last time. Big breath in. Nice long S sound out. Excellent. And then come on down to the floor. Good. We're going to go back to that spinal flexion, that ab curl again. So let's tuck the chin, peel up your head, try to look into your heart, and then try to bring your heart towards your belt buckle. Then we'll go ahead and we'll put the arms back to where we had them before. And if you want an option to progress this, you can lift your knees up over your hip sockets so that you're loading your lower abdominals. And then once you're in position, let's go ahead and breathe again. So big breath into the belly, nice long S sound out. As we're exhaling, try to bring the heart closer towards your belly button. So big breath in, and then exhale out, trying to curl a little bit more. Good, let's try that again. Big breath in. Nice long breath out. Good. One last time. Big breath in. Nice long breath out. Excellent. Come on down to the floor. Good. Hopefully you start to feel those abdominals really turn on. And that's the whole point of this little sequence right now. Good. So then we're going to go back to the bridges. But what I'd like you to do is have your knees bent 90 degrees. And then lift your forefoot up off the ground. So we're going to change the length of the hamstrings here. The arms are going to do the same. The arms are going to reach for the toes. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then we'll point our belt buckle towards our chin. Then we'll lift our hips up, hold the hips up as high as we can, and breathe again. So big breath into your belly. Nice long S sound out. Trying to make the S sound as long as possible. Good. Then we'll do that 2 more times, and let's try to lift the hips up a little bit higher as we breathe out. So again, breathe into your belly, and then exhale out, trying to lift the hips. Good. One more time. Big breath into your belly, and then nice long breath out, lifting the hips. Excellent. And then slowly come on back down to the floor. Good. So we have 1 more round of for both of these exercises, and we have an opportunity to progress it again. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's get back into our spinal flexion here. So let's tuck our chin, pick up our head, look into our heart, and then bring our heart towards our belt buckle. Good. Then go ahead, place your arms in the same position. If you had your knees up over your hips, let's go ahead and bring them back there. And if you want a little bit more, go ahead, try to straighten your knees. Good. Now let's get into our breathing again. So big breath into your belly, and then nice long S sound out. Try to curl your spine a little bit more. Good. So let's do that again. Big breath into your belly. Nice long breath out. Excellent job. One more time. Make those abdominals work a little bit more if you can. So big breath in. Nice long breath out. Excellent. And then slowly come on down to the floor. Perfect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to complement that by bringing our legs nice and straight. And we're going to try another bridge here. So again, hands are by your side. Fingers are reaching for your toes. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Point your belt buckle up towards your chin. Good. Now just try to lift your hips up off the ground with straight legs. So you just press your hands and your heels into the ground. Just do the best that you can. If your hips don't come off the ground, that's okay. As long as you're pressing down with the hands and the heels, you're doing the exercise. Okay, now let's breathe. So breathe into your belly, big breath in. Then nice long S sound out. Good. 2 more times. As we're exhaling, we're trying to lift the hips up a little bit more. So again, big breath in. And then exhale out. Good. One last time. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together, please. Big breath in. And then nice long breath out. Excellent. And then relax. Beautiful job. Great. From here, let's just go ahead and roll over onto our sides. And let's make sure that we have plenty of space around us. Because now we're going to open up our shoulders and our thoracic spine with some arm sweeps. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and flex your hips. So tuck your knees up toward your chest. And then with your bottom hand, hold your knees together. And then with your top hand, imagine you have a piece of chalk in your hand. And I want you to imagine that you're going to draw a nice big circle on the floor. So you're going to reach forward as far as possible. And then slowly reach up overhead. And then as we're reaching behind us, what I'd like you to do is twist your arm. So your palm faces down towards the ground. And then we're going to keep circling the hand all the way to your back pocket. When your hand comes to your back pocket, have your palm facing away from your back pocket. So the back of your hand touches your back pocket. And then once you're there, we're just going to reverse the circle and sweep the arm forward. Unwinding the arm, untwisting the arm. Good. Let's do that again. Let's see if we can make the circle a little bit bigger. So reach out in front a little bit more. And then just try to extend up overhead a little bit further. Let your rib cage roll back as you're reaching back. Again, we're twisting the arm as the arm is sweeping behind us. And then our hand will come to our back pocket. And then once you're there, just slowly reverse directions and return the arm by unwinding the arm and untwisting the arm. Good. We'll do it one more time. Last time, let's see if we can make the circle even bigger. So reaching out a little bit further, and then extending up overhead, and then reaching back. We're trying to keep our movements nice and smooth here, so try not to go too fast. Good. And then once your hand comes all the way to that back pocket, we'll change directions. We'll unwind our arm, untwist our arm, and come back to the front. Excellent. Good. So then after that, we're going to focus on the hips in this position. And what I'd like you to do is make a pillow for your head and then take your top hand and reach out in front of you or hold on to your pelvis with your top hand. It's up to you. We're going to take the top leg. We're going to reach behind us as far as we possibly can. Then we're going to lift the leg up as high as possible. Good. In this position, we're simply going to twist the leg in each direction. So I want you to try to turn your kneecap up towards the ceiling. Good. And now reverse it. Try to turn the kneecap down towards the floor. We're literally twisting the leg in your hip socket. Good. Let's do that a couple more times, and let's ask a little bit more from the hip. So kneecap up towards the ceiling, twist in this direction, and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Good. And then reverse it, twist the kneecap down, and then keep twisting this leg in this direction for 1 full second. Good. Now can you slide the leg back and lift it up a little bit higher? And let's try it again. Twist the kneecap up and back and keep twisting in that direction for 1 full second. And then reverse, twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting in that direction for 1 full second. Good, let's try it one more time. Slide the leg back and lift it up a little bit higher. And let's try it again. Twist the kneecap up and back and keep twisting in that direction for 1 full second. And then reverse, twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting back for 1 full second. And then relax. Good, and bring your knees together. Good, we'll do the same thing with the other leg. So we're gonna slide the other leg back as far as possible. Then we're gonna lift it up as high as possible. Good, now let's twist the leg. So kneecap up and back as far as possible. Keep twisting this way for 1 full second. And then reverse, twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Good, then try to slide the leg back and up a little bit more, and we'll do it again. Twist the kneecap up and back, keep twisting this way for 1 full second. And then reverse, twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting this way for 1 full second. Perfect. Let's slide the leg back and up again. And let's try it again. Twist the kneecap up and back for 1 full second. And then reverse, twist the kneecap down and back for 1 full second. And relax. Perfect. Great. Now let's bring the knees together. And then let's make nice big circles with the top hip. So we're going to focus on the knee here. What I'd like you to do is bring your knee up in towards your chest the best that you can. Then lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Then once you're here, focus on twisting the thigh. We just practiced that. As you reach your heel behind you as far as possible. And then slowly lower the knee down and bring your knees together. Good, let's try that again. So knee up into our chest the best that we can. Then slowly lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Good, then we're going to twist the thigh as we're reaching the foot behind us. You're literally trying to touch the wall right now behind you. And then slowly lower that knee down and bring your knees together. Good, one more time in this direction, okay? Keep it nice and slow and just try to go a little bit bigger. So knee up towards your chest, then knee up towards the ceiling. And now start to twist that thigh as you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Then slowly lower down and knees together. Perfect. So then we're going to do the same thing but opposite direction. So let's reach back first. Keep the knee low and just reach back as far as you can. Good. Now from here, slowly bring the knee up towards the ceiling. It's not easy. And then we're going to try to bring that knee to your top shoulder. And then we'll finally bring the knees together. Good, let's try that again. So let's reach back as far as possible. Good, then nice and slowly lift the knee straight up toward the ceiling. Keep that slow. And then try to keep pulling the knee towards that top shoulder. And then we'll bring the knees together. Okay, one more time here. Reach back as far as you can. Then slowly lift the knee straight up toward the ceiling. Keep it slow. Excellent. And then bring the knee to the top of your shoulder and then knees together. Excellent. Perfect. From here, let's switch sides and we'll do the same sequence on the other side. Okay, we'll start with the arm sweeps. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of room around us. And again, we'll start in this sideline position and our bottom hand's going to hold your knees together. If you could make this bottom arm active as we're doing the arm sweeps, that's even better for your thoracic spine. Okay? So again, imagine you have a piece of chalk in your hand. Just reach out as far as you can and then slowly try to draw a circle on the floor, allowing your rib cage to roll back, and twist your arm in your shoulder socket when your arm is reaching behind you. You're trying to keep your hand on the floor. It's okay if your hand comes off the floor. And then your hand will come to your back pocket, and once it's there, then we'll change directions and we'll unsweep the arm. We're untwisting the arm and unwinding the arm at the same time, and then reaching forward. Good, let's try that again. Let's try to make the circle even bigger. So reach out a little bit further in front, and then slowly reach up overhead, and then start to roll back with that rib cage. Twisting the arm in the shoulder socket as the arm is circling behind the body. And then bring the back of your hand to touch your back pocket. Good. And once you're there, let's slowly unwind the arm and slowly untwist the arm. Good. And reach forward as far as you can. Excellent. Okay, one more time. Let's try to make it a little bit bigger. And what I like you to do is remember the S sound and see if that helps you to make the circle even bigger on the floor. So if you reach out in front of you as far as you possibly can, and then use an S sound as you circle in the arms, you might notice that you're able to extend through your shoulder girdle a little bit more. You might notice that your thoracic spine rotates a little bit more, and then your hand might stay on the ground all the way around. And then once your hand comes to that back pocket, then we'll slowly reverse it, trying to unwind the arm and untwist the arm. Excellent. So then after that, we'll focus on the hips. So we'll make a pillow for the head, and then either we'll reach the hand out in front or we'll hold on to the hips, and we're going to take our top leg, we're going to reach back first, and then up as high as you can. And then once we're in this position, we're just going to simply twist the leg in your hip socket, okay? So turn the kneecap up towards the ceiling and backwards, and keep twisting the leg in this direction for 1 full second. And then reverse. Turn the kneecap down and back and keep twisting the leg in this direction for 1 full second. Perfect. Now let's slide the leg back and lift it up a little bit higher. And let's try it again. So kneecap up and back, keep twisting the leg in this direction for 1 full second. Good. And then reverse. Twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Perfect. Let's try it again. Let's slide the leg back and up a little bit higher. We'll do it one more time. Twist the kneecap up and back. Keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. And then twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting back in this direction for 1 full second. And then relax. Perfect. Bring your knees together. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll take the other leg straight out and back as far as possible. Then lift it up. Good. And then we'll start to twist here. So kneecap up and back. Keep twisting the leg in this direction for 1 full second. Excellent. And then reverse. Kneecap down and back and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Good. Now slide the leg back and up a little bit more, and let's try it again. Twisting the kneecap up and back as far as you can. Keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Good. And then reverse. Kneecap down and back and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. Perfect. Let's slide the leg back and up a little bit more. We'll do it one more time. Twist the kneecap up and back. Keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. And then twist the kneecap down and back and keep twisting in this direction for 1 full second. And relax. Perfect. Then let's bring your knees together again. And now we'll do big rotations at the hip here. So we're going to focus on the knee here. We're going to bring that knee up in towards our chest the best that we can. Then slowly just lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Then we're twisting the thigh as we're reaching back. And then slowly lower the leg down to the floor. And then bring your knees together. Good. Now let's try to make it a little bit bigger. So knee a little bit closer towards your chest. Then up towards the ceiling as high as possible. Good. Twist the thigh as you're reaching back. Literally try to touch the wall behind you. And then slowly lower down and knees together. One more time. Make it even bigger. And let's make sure your pelvis doesn't move here. So knee up towards your chest. Then lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Twist the thigh as you're reaching back. Keep the pelvis still. And really just reach back as far as you can. And then slowly lower down and knees together. Good. Now let's reverse direction. So let's reach back first, but keep the knee low to the ground. Reach back as far as you can. Good. Now from here, slowly bring the knee up towards the ceiling. And then try to bring that knee to the outside of your shoulder. And then we'll finally bring the knees together. Excellent. Okay, let's do that again. Let's see if we can go a little bit further. So reaching back a little bit more. Then nice and slowly trying to bring that knee all the way up towards the ceiling. And then to the outside of your shoulder. And then knees together. Good. One more time. Let's focus on the pelvis now. Make sure the pelvis stays nice and still. So reach back as far as you can. And then keep the pelvis still as you're lifting the knee up. Then try to bring that knee towards your shoulder. And then knees together. Excellent job. Perfect. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to come up to oblique sit. It's a different position where your hips are actually on the floor, and then we're going to have the elbow right underneath your shoulder. So don't have it out in front. Try to get it right underneath your shoulder. And then once you're here with that elbow right underneath your shoulder, I want you to take your top hand and find your lower ribs and try to lift your lower ribs away from the floor. So you're activating your obliques here, right? We're flexing our spine, we're pulling those lower ribs away from the floor. You should feel all these side core muscles engaged. Good. Once your lower ribs are lifted away from the floor, we're going to take the hand, we're going to pack your shoulder down. What's really important is that we don't want this shoulder to creep up towards your ears. It happens a lot, and if you work a lot on computers, your shoulder might have the tendency to go up there. So we're going to use this hand to pack the shoulder down. Another way of thinking about it is I want you to imagine that there is a string pulling your armpit towards your pocket the entire time. Good. Okay, so then once we're here in this position, your ribs are away from the floor, we're going to do some slow rotations of our thoracic spine here. So we're just simply going to take the top shoulder and rotate it down towards the floor the best that we can. And then we're going to come back up. Good. Now that you know what the pattern is, we're really going to emphasize the obliques here. So keep these lower ribs lifted. In fact, if you have your yoga block handy, you could put the yoga block underneath your lower ribs as a little measuring device to make sure your ribs don't collapse to the floor. Okay, and then we'll do our rotations. So our shoulders packed down, and then we're just slowly going to rotate our top shoulder to the floor the best that we can. And then we're going to come back up. We're trying to teach these oblique muscles to work with the shoulder girdle muscles so that we can control movement through our torso, especially our thoracic spine. Good. And as we're rotating here, what I'd like you to do is really try to rotate as far as you can. So try to bring that top shoulder as close to the floor as possible while still lifting those lower ribs. Okay, and it may be difficult in terms of performing this movement as long as you're doing the exercise, okay? We're lifting the lower ribs and just trying to rotate the best that we can. Good, we'll do it one more time. So this is an opportunity to make our best rep right here. So lift those lower ribs, rotate that top shoulder down towards the floor as far as you can, and then slowly come on back up. Excellent. After that, let's go ahead, let's switch sides, and we'll do the same exact movement on the other side. So first, we'll just get set up in the position, right? So that's hips on the ground, elbows right underneath that shoulder. And if you have a yoga block handy, we'll place it underneath our lower ribs once we lift those lower ribs up. Good. And then we'll take that top hand, we're going to pack that shoulder down. We're trying to keep that shoulder away from your ears. You could also think that we're pulling the armpit towards the pocket. And then once we're all set up, let's go ahead and start to rotate that top shoulder down to the floor as far as possible. And then come back up. Good. Go nice and slowly with this. It's about trying to really control the body as we're creating this movement pattern. And it's really good to do if you spend a lot of time working on a computer, because we're activating muscles that are actually not activated while we sit at a desk and we let a chair support us. This is actually a really good little movement to use during the day if you have to work on a computer quite a bit too. So if you're okay with getting on the floor in your office, I would recommend doing a couple of these rotations every now and then during your day at work. Good. Let's do one more rotation here. Again, we're lifting the lower ribs off the ground, and we're rotating that top shoulder as far as we possibly can. And then slowly coming back. Excellent. Good. So then we'll place that yoga block off to the side, and we're going to come up to a seated position. And what we're going to do right now is some P and F stretching to open up the posterior chain. So if you have a yoga block hand, yoga strap handy, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, maybe grab a big towel. We're trying to hold on to the toes here so that we can create some isometric contractions here. If you can hold on to your toes, then you don't need a yoga strap. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate this exercise with the yoga strap. So what we want to do is we want to sit up nice and tall, and then we're just going to get into a forward fold, and then we're going to hold on to the yoga strap. We want to take a couple of deep breaths here and just try to pull ourselves deeper into the forward fold. Then what we're going to do is we're literally going to try to come out of the forward fold, right? And that's going to create isometric contraction. But the isometric contraction means is that we're trying to move, but there is no movement. So I'm going to hold on to the strap, and I'm going to try to pull my heart away from my toes. But because I'm holding on so strong to the strap, there is no movement. But I'm activating my back muscles and my hamstrings. And we're just going to do that for 5 seconds, okay? So hold on to either your feet or the strap, and then we'll start our first isometric contraction here. So you're just slowly trying to separate your heart from your toes from the heart, isometric contraction, so there is no movement though you're trying to move. And just work about 50% of your strength. So here we go for a slow 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that contraction go and do the opposite. Try to pull yourself deeper down into that forward fold. You might get a little bit deeper. And if you can, maybe walk your hands up the strap or down your feet a little bit more. And then we'll do another round here, okay? So again, same thing. We're going to try to get out of the forward fold using an isometric contraction, but there is no movement. What I'd like you to do is experiment with going stronger with your isometric contraction. So you could work all the way up to about 100% of your strength if you feel confident with that. Okay, so let's hold on really, really tight. And then start to separate heart from toes, toes from heart. Again, there is no movement, but you're trying to move. And we'll do this for a slow 5 count. So 5, 4, 3. Feel those back muscles and the hamstrings engage. 2, 1. Let that contraction go and try to pull yourself deeper into the forward fold. Can you tuck your chin? Can you look into your belly button? Can you walk your hands up that yoga strap or down your feet a little bit more? And then once you're here, let's go back to all the breathing that we did at the beginning of class. So 3 deep breaths here, breathing into your belly. Nice long exhale out with the S sound. You might notice that you're actually getting deeper into that forward fold, and that's great. Let's do it again. So breathe into your belly. Nice long S sound out, keeping your chin tucked. Keep looking into your belly button, just like we were doing at the beginning of class. Good. One more time here. Big breath in. And then big breath out. S sound out. Excellent. And then we'll slowly roll up to that seated position. And hopefully that felt like you created a little bit more space into that forward fold. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do a complementary exercise. We're going to go into spinal extension and open up the chest by reaching the hands back like so, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then scoot your hips forward as you lift up your chest, so that we're trying to get into the deepest shoulder extension possible here. But it's really important that we're lifting the heart up, right? That we're arching our spine. Then we're going to do these P and F isometric contractions again. This time, you're literally going to try to slide your hands through the floor towards your back pockets. That's going to activate your chest muscles. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll try to squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your heart when we let go of that contraction. Okay? So let's lift the heart. And then start with 50% of your strength. So hands working through the floor towards your back pocket. Feel how those chest and shoulder muscles are engaged. We'll do this for a slow 5 count. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Let that contraction go. And now do the opposite. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Try to lift your heart up a little bit more. And then maybe see if you could scoot your hips forward a little bit. Excellent, good. Good, take a deep breath in and out here, and let's try it again one more time. Hands working through the floor towards your back pocket, activating your chest muscles. Okay, if you want to go a little bit stronger, feel free. You could work all the way up to 100% of your strength if you feel confident in that today. So here we go, hands working through the floor, activating your chest for a slow 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that contraction go. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Try to lift your heart up more and maybe scoot your hips forward just a little bit more. And then we'll do 3 deep breaths here. So breathe into your belly. Nice long S sound out. Good. Let's try that again. Big breath into your belly. Nice long S sound out. Make it as long as possible. Perfect. One more time. Big breath in. And nice long S sound out. Excellent. And then we'll slowly come on out of that. Excellent. So now I want you to check in with your hips right now. So if your pelvis is not square to the floor, if it's tilting backwards for a little bit, I'd like you to either grab that pillow or use your yoga block to sit on. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do some reps right now where we're working into that forward fold, right? And we want to make sure that that pelvis is square to the ground, okay? So once you're set up, we're simply going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then it's nice and slowly exhaling out as we're reaching the fingers well beyond your feet. Now to come on out of the forward fold, I want you to just reach your hands away from your hips and keep reaching towards the horizon until you feel that your body just slowly lifts back up. Good, let's try that again. Nice long exhale out as you're folding, and that should bring us deeper into the forward fold. So long breath out, reaching as far as you can beyond your feet. Then we'll reverse, we'll reach those fingers for the horizon, and let that reach towards the horizon just lift us back up. Good, one more time here. Nice and slow, exhaling out as we fold. And then at the bottom of the fold, reaching towards the horizon and slowly coming back up. Excellent job. Okay, so from here, what I'd like you to do is, if you are sitting on your yoga block, right, and you don't have another yoga block, then you can just cross your arms over your chest. But if you have a yoga block available, what I'd like you to do is hold the yoga block over your heart, and we're going to do some articulations for the thoracic spine here. So we're simply just going to fold forward and try to place the heart on top of the yoga block like so. And then we're going to slowly reverse it where we're lifting the yoga block up over your heart. Excellent. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. And what's really important is that your hips don't move here. So your pelvis stays nice and square, and that we're really just focusing on creating movement with our thoracic spine, our rib cage spine. We're folding forward, and then we're extending through your spine, lifting the yoga block up over your heart. Good, we'll do that one more time. Exhale, fold forward. Try to get your heart on top of the yoga block. And then slowly reverse. Try to lift the yoga block up over your heart. Perfect. So next, what we're going to do is we're just going to do some rotations here. So first thing I'd like you to do is get nice and tall through your spine. So imagine that the top of your head's trying to touch the ceiling. Then focus on rotating the yoga block to the side. So just rotate the yoga block to the right as far as you can. And then come back to center. And then we'll go to the left as far as we can. Good. Now let's do that again. And this time I want you to squeeze your legs together to make sure your pelvis doesn't move. Okay? So rotate the yoga block to your right, squeezing your legs together. So we're isolating movement in the spine. We're not allowing the hips to twist. And then we'll come back to center, and then we'll do the same thing to the left, rotating the yoga block to the left while squeezing your legs together and then coming back to center. Good. So now let's add in that S sound, that long exhale, and see if we could rotate the spine a little bit more. Okay, so squeeze your legs together, S sound out, and rotate that yoga block to your right as far as you can. And then come back to center. And then rotate as far as you can to the left. Perfect. Okay, so then we're going to combine those two exercises and we're going to make nice big circles here. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead, fold forward, get your heart on top of the yoga block, then take the yoga block over to your right, then slowly lift the yoga block up over your heart, and then take the yoga block to your left, and then fold forward again. Once we're at our starting position, we'll change direction. We'll go back in the same direction we came from. So going to your left as far as you can with the yoga block, then slowly lifting the yoga block up over your heart, and then over to your right, and then folding down again. Good. So then let's squeeze the legs together, make sure your pelvis doesn't move as we go for our second round. So let's go back to the right with the yoga block, and then slowly lift that yoga block up over your heart, and then take it over to the left as far as you can, and then fold on forward. Fold back down, heart on top of the yoga block, and then we'll change directions here. We'll go back to the left as far as we can, and then slowly lift that yoga block up over your heart, and then rotate the yoga block over to the right, and coming back down the center. Excellent, good. So let's do it one more time, and let's work with our breath here. So trying to make nice long S sounds as we're making these circles, and just see if we could make a bigger circle with the yoga block the entire time without moving the hips. So let's go ahead, let's fold forward, squeeze your legs together, take the yoga block over to your right, then slowly lift that yoga block up over your heart, then take it over to the left as far as you can, and then slowly folding forward, coming back to center. And then once you're at that starting position, we'll change direction. We'll go back to the left, rotating as far as you can while squeezing your legs together. Then slowly lifting that yoga block up over your heart. And then taking it over to the right as far as you can. And then coming back down the center. Beautiful. Good, so now with this yoga block, we're going to change positions. We're going to use this yoga block as a little balancing device. And what I'd like you to do is come onto your hands and your knees and place that yoga block right on top of your back leg, so. Good, so we're trying to help reinforce really good posture here. So we're going to do some bird dog holds here. Okay, so let's get into a really good position first. So the first thing I want you to do is squeeze your armpits towards your pockets. So we were doing that before. So squeeze your armpits towards your pockets. That's going to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Good. Then what I'd like you to do is really press your hands into the floor. You're trying to press your heart away from the floor. Good. Then once you're there, let's get tall through the spine. So think that the top of your head is reaching for the horizon while your tailbone's reaching for the other horizon. Perfect. Next, we're going to take opposite arm and opposite leg and reach for the horizon. So let's start right hand, left foot, and just simply reach for the horizon. I want you to really reach through your toes and through your fingers as far as you can. Good. Now, as you're doing this, we're balancing the yoga block on our back. We're also pressing into the floor with the bottom hand and bottom foot. Good. We're going to hold this for a slow 5, 4. If you can have nice long breaths out with the S sound, that's only going to activate your core more and support us even more. Good. One more second. And then perfect. And then slowly bring your arms back down. And then we'll switch sides, okay? So now left hand goes forward, right hand goes back. Really reach for the horizon as far as you can. And then nice long breaths out. Feel free to add that S sound in, and we're just gonna hold this for a slow 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come on back down. Good, so we're gonna try this again, and we're gonna change the exercise a little bit by working the arm and leg on diagonals down. So we're gonna reach for the corners of the room. So we'll go back to the right hand and left foot, reach out 45 degrees, and reach as far as you can. Good, so now try to have these nice long exhales to activate your core as we're holding here for a slow 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. And then we'll switch sides. We'll reach on a diagonal in the opposite direction, okay? So left hand, right foot, reaching out to the corners of the room. Press the floor away, get tall through your spine, and now nice long breaths out as we hold for a slow 5, 4, 3, stay long through the body, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. We're going to do it one more time, and this time we're going to reach straight out to the side 90 degrees. This is going to be much more difficult than the other two variations. All I want you to do is do your best here and stay tall through your spine. So right hand and left foot trying to reach out 90 degrees. Good, and literally try to touch either side of the room. Good, now big breaths out here, and we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come on back. Excellent. And then let's do the other side. Reaching left hand and right foot out towards either side of the room. Good, engage your breath here, nice long breaths out. Try to stay nice and long through your body. Good, we'll hold here for a slow 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come on back. Good, then to help loosen up our shoulders after all that, because they might have gotten tight, what I'd like you to do is just slowly roll your shoulders here in the biggest circle possible. So shoulders towards your ears, then let your heart drop to the floor, then squeeze your armpits towards your pockets, and press your heart away from the floor. Good, nice slow rolls here. Just trying to trying to release any tension that might have built up in those upper trapezius muscles while doing this exercise. Good, now let's go ahead, let's change directions and do nice slow shoulder rolls the other way. So again, press your heart away from the floor, squeeze your armpits towards your pockets, then let your heart drop to the floor, and then shrug the shoulders up towards your ears as you complete the circle. One more time here. Excellent, good. So then let's go ahead and end this little routine with some cat-cow here. We're gonna reconnect to our breath. So at the beginning of the class, we were really working on activating our posterior chain, our posterior core, and also our anterior core. So when we're doing these cat-cows, I want you to really try to curl your spine as much as you possibly can, and then try to arch your spine as much as you possibly can too. So let's make sure that the shoulders are nice and wide and that the shoulders are away from your ears. Then go ahead and curl your spine as you exhale. Look into your belly button and really try to press those lower ribs up towards the ceiling as you tuck your chin and look into your belly button. Good, now let's slowly reverse. Let's arch your spine, drop your stomach to the floor, tailbone up towards the ceiling, eyes up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and try to park them into your back pockets. Good. Let's go back to the cat. So exhaling as we're curling our spine, pressing the lower ribs up towards the ceiling, eyes looking into your belly button, and curling as far as you possibly can. And then we'll slowly reverse. We'll arch our spine. We'll drop our stomach towards the floor. We'll take the eyes and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and try to park those shoulder blades into your back pocket. Good. One more time in each direction. So exhaling, curling your spine. Press the floor away. We're trying to touch the ceiling with the lower ribs, curling your spine, tucking your chin. And then we'll slowly reverse. We'll arch our spine, drop the stomach down to the floor, eyes going up toward the ceiling, tailbone going up to the ceiling. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and park them into your back pockets. Excellent. Okay, and hopefully after all that, we will feel nice and tall as we go about our day. And I recommend practicing this routine whenever you want to help build your posture. Okay, thanks for joining me, everyone.